Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand Fan Forum. Manchester United 1, Brentford 0, 3 points back on the board. A good win, a little bit nervous there towards the end, but we got it over the line and 3 points is the most important thing. We have the panel of Faz, Kev and Ricky. Kicked off before we went live a little bit, but you know, we'll bring it back onto the show now. I mean, I'll start...
Who kicked off?
No, I'm not coming to you first. I'll start off with you, Ricky. My favourite. Actually, no, Kevin and Ricky are both my favourites.
Why are you lying?
Kevin and Ricky are both my favourites.
You did not say this off the camera, you're lying.
So, I'll come to you first. How did you see that game? A game of two halves, I thought. What did you think?
Definitely a game of two halves. They were a bit better second, not better than us, but they were a bit better second half than they were first half, or quite a bit better. But I've got to say, in the first half, it's a long time since we've played as well as that. And I spoke after the Newcastle game where I said we didn't show any patience. And then I've seen a couple of things that have been mentioned. I think there was something on Twitter about Diego Dalo that I saw. That was a quote where he said we weren't patient enough, exactly as I said at Newcastle. We're just trying to play the killer ball too often, putting it in the box too quick. We need to move the ball around and keep hold of the ball. And that was how they did. And even the manager was quoted as saying that we weren't patient enough. They've clearly spoken about it. And in the first half, we dominated the play, passed it around really well. Just one or two forced balls that shouldn't have been played. Again, I've got to say, Bruno, he put two into the box that he should have just passed. One went straight to the keeper, one went out for a goal kick. But other than that, we moved it around really well in the first half, dominated the play, showed a lot of patience, and I can't even count the reasons that's good. You're trying to pull them around. You're trying to make a clear opening rather than just a risky ball through the middle or into the box. But on top of that, you're getting a feel for the ball. Your players are getting confident. Your back four are not having to defend like mad like they were at the weekend. So there's multiple reasons for playing like that, and that's how the best teams play. And we played like a really good team in the first half and better than we have for some time.
Definitely, it's because Brentford are a quality team. I was actually shocked at how poor we were making Brentford look at times because of how well we managed the game, especially in the first half. Second half, not so much, but we'll get on to that. I mean, Kev, what did you make of it?
Yeah, I think Ricky said pretty much what I was going to say. I think the possession one was the key. I think if we look at the Newcastle game, we certainly, we didn't show any fight, desire or anything. I was very, very shocked at the way Brentford were today. I thought this would have been a really tricky game. And until Frank made them changes kind of towards the end of the game where he made a triple change, they really piled the pressure on. They had nothing to lose. But up to that point, I mean, the first half, we're talking 60-70% possession, which, you know, for Manchester United at home, it is brilliant. Did we create that much? Well, Rashford's took his goal and he's 28 goals now for the season, which is brilliant on a personal level for him. It could have been a tricky day at the office today. You look at the fact that Luke Shaw goes off with an injury. Malacia come on, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. You know, you can look at that and think, oh, this is going to be a tough game for him. Thought he was really good. Probably the best game I've seen Sabitzer have in a Manchester United shirt. And yeah, it could have been a tricky game, and it was all about the 3 points. You read a lot going into this, and from a media perspective, I think, you know, they were out circling, definitely looking for Manchester United to either drop points or lose today. What is it since the Carabao Cup? The Liverpool game was just a one-off. To think that we were 1-0 down at half-time in that game, capitulated, lose 7-0. Southampton, obviously the Casemiro sending off changes that game, we draw it. And then obviously last week, you know, losing to Newcastle, which was disappointed, but good to get back to winning ways. We're in the top 4 again after obviously Spurs slipping up, and we have to take it from here. It's in our hands now. I said it last week, top 4, that's what it was all about this year. And if we can win a couple of trophies or whatever it is, that would be a great season for Ten Hag in his first season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me personally, Faz, I really didn't like the way we were playing in the second half, as if we were like 2 or 3-0 up. Like, I thought we we had an opportunity where we could have put the game to bed, and I didn't see the conviction in some of the passages of play. I thought we could have been a little bit more clinical with certain things, and I do think we were a bit lackadaisy at times. I mean, Brentford are a good team. all it takes is one cross into the box, one header, or it bounces off someone. You're 1-1. You know, it's holding on to a 1-0 is really, really risky. What did you make of that second half in a way? Because that's how I saw it. How did you see it?
I think first thing first, that set piece threat is going to be with pretty much any team who've got some big, tall players who are good in the air, and obviously they've got the likes of Ivan Toney. They've got some big centre backs in there as well that will be able to get a goal or whatever. But I think the most important thing is we didn't rush anything like Ricky mentioned. We kept our kind of formation. We stuck to our game plan. I know 1-0 is still very tight and still very scary, but huge props to David De Gea. 1v1 save. Can you please put the camera on? Can I
come in this, please? Because everyone in the chat.
Why did you giggle then?
Everyone in the chat's coming in with Dave saves from Mark's stream.
Well, no, I'm seeing it now.
No, let me tell you this now. And if you don't want to agree with my opinion, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But I'm telling you this now. David De Gea was not good today. He was not good today. That save he made was great. It was a great save, but the reason he had to make that save is because he's passing it to Brentford in the midfield. He nearly passed it to Toney to header it into his own net. He passed it to them multiple times. He can't distribute the ball. We will never gain pressure on teams when we can't pass it out from the back because David De Gea cannot pass the football. And it's as simple as that. You don't want to agree with me, that's fine. The reason he had to make one very good save was because he passed it out to Brentford.
But he still made the save.
Yeah, but it was from his own doing.
David Raya gave the ball away a few times as well.
He did. And I don't think David Raya had a great game today, but I'm much more confident with David Raya on the ball.
And keepers normally have a good game against Man United as well, so
Brentford
it's surprising.
fans were literally taking
They're going to do that anyways.
No,
away fans will do that anyways. There were two Davids.
If it was a good keeper in net, they wouldn't be doing
it.
There's
two Davids on the pitch. One turned up, one didn't.
Oh my God. David Raya was better than De Gea.
No. David De Gea threw the ball to Luke Shaw today with nice precision.
Oh my, people picking out one thing.
He controlled the ball from Malacia when Malacia fumbled.
Brilliant.
He put the ball into Sancho one time.
And he also nearly gave it away multiple times. And if that was a different story, that Toney header was being in the back of the net.
Loads of times.
We can't build pressure with David De Gea on the ball. It's as simple as that. He can't do it.
David De Gea is in net. Calm,
I don't
no
care.
problem.
He's not good enough.
Everything's going to be fine.
He's not good enough on the ball to play the way Ten Hag wants to. He's just not.
It'll be fine.
Listen, me and Ricky are going to go to the pub here anyway. It's been great.
You don't get it. I'm in the ground. I don't know if they show it on TV or what. I don't know what Mark's watching at home on TV. It must be something different to what I'm seeing because in the ground, I'm sat on the halfway line. I see every single thing. And I see it in the 6th minute, nearly passed it to him for it to go in the goal. Multiple times after that, straight into the Brentford midfield. He's giving a horrible pass to Dalo where he has to boot it out of play. We can't build pressure from the back. Simple.
David Raya made some good passes today? Yes, he has. Yes, he has. But has David Raya made some atrocious passes?
Imagine our goalkeeper taking a free kick from the halfway line. It would never happen in a million years.
We don't need to.
We don't need to, but I'm just saying that's the technical ability that you're dealing with.
Yeah, but that's not a technical ability. We've got Luke Shaw and Bruno to take free kicks.
I'm just saying he can do it. That shows how good he is on the ball.
It doesn't matter. He can't do his bread and butter.
I'm telling you now, even if David De Gea stays here next year, Ten Hag will eventually replace him.
Listen, the goal that we scored today, David De Gea would have saved it. David De Gea saves goals like that.
Whatever.
And David Raya doesn't.
I've not seen that back, but from what I saw, Rashford puts a volley in. It
wasn't a volley, it was just like a headed ball.
It was a massive power into the back of the net. I need to watch it back because I've not seen it back.
So David De Gea
I'm talking about building from the back
well.
and building out and having possession and being able to build through transition and not giving away stupid chances under pressure where we're not in our
what
placement.
What percentage possession did we have in the first half?
Must have been up near 70%, I'd say.
What a mercy.
Every time it goes back to David. Every time it goes back to David De Gea, we give it away or we're under major pressure.
We had majority possession.
You know what, Faz? You say what you want to say, but this is my opinion. If people don't want to listen to it, that is fine. We can all have different opinions. But that's what I'm saying.
We had in the second half? Probably a bit less, but it's still more than Brentford.
Yeah.
Interesting. Good game today. Really happy.
You're saying so wait, can I ask you a question? Are you going to sit here and tell me David De Gea didn't give it away 5+ times today?
Yeah, 5 times, yeah.
Yeah, and does that happen nearly every game?
Yeah.
And does it put us under pressure and can it cause goal scoring opportunities for the opposition? I know for a fact,
Yes and
I know
no.
for a fact, if that
No, but
Tony
yes
header
and
would have
no.
gone in, you'd be sat here today saying, oh yeah,
Yeah, but-
David De Gea's going to have to
but
go.
football-
It's
football
little
is
margins
fine.
like
Yeah,
that.
football is fine
Exactly.
margins.
So I'm looking at it and I'm
David De Gea
saying,
gave the ball away, which ended up going into the opposition's possession.
I'm
They
very
created a big
consistent
chance.
on my point.
And David De Gea fixed his own mistake. Footballers do that. They make a mistake, they fix their own mistake. That's what happens.
I'm very consistent on my point, and what I'm saying is, each game, everyone knows this on the shows, I get pellets for it, each game I say, we will not be able to continue and be at the top level with David De Gea in goal, in my opinion.
Right.
Whereas
That's fine. That's fine.
you'd be like, one week it's, oh, David De Gea's the best, next week I need to get rid of him.
I didn't say we need to get rid of him.
Yes, you did on the show I did with you over there. In the show I did with you over there, you said we need a new keeper.
Yes, for a season to be on bench and then in 2025.
So you think we do?
Not next year.
Thank you.
I said buy a keeper, but don't have to swap David De Gea next year. David De Gea is staying next year, but buy a keeper anyway. If Qataris come in, we have money, buy a keeper. But listen, I'm done with you and David De Gea. I need to go to Ricky and talk about this Rashford. Ricky, you have caused crimes with this Mitoma talk. I have to say it, Ricky. Mitoma, the only best thing about Mitoma right now is his degree. You saw what Rashford did to his centre-backs today. Without Rashford, we'd be nothing. Absolutely nothing. And the fact that you said you would sell Rashford and people want to agree with you, I'm honestly, Ricky, I can't. I stand with you in a lot of things. But that one, Ricky, I can't. You must explain yourself, please.
I just want us to look after the ball better on a more regular basis. Like I've just said, we played well tonight. We played well for the first time in some time. Even in the games recently that we've won, like Fulham, they were all over us. We couldn't keep the ball. West Ham, we beat West Ham 3-1 here not too long ago. Since the cup final, I don't think we played that well, although we ended up winning. We played well tonight. For long periods, we played well. Rashford wasn't on the left wing, by the way, tonight, and he usually is. So I just think we need a player out there who looks after and I've watched him a few times. It's not just because he's scoring goals and making goals as well, by the way. And it's not just that. The way he moves with the ball, the way he sees the right pass, he's a quality player, him. And I'm telling you this, I'll be staggered if this summer he doesn't go to a big club for, I mean, Brighton will probably take 50 million quid for him, I imagine. He'll go to a big club this summer, I'm sure of it, and I hope it's us, but I can't see it being.
How many big players have Brighton sold that ended up disappearing?
You're telling me... Sorry.
Not many.
Well, Bissouma being one of them.
No, look. They've got a conveyor belt there. I forgot about Bissouma earlier, but Dan Burns doing great for Newcastle. Ben White's doing great for Arsenal.
Is he doing great though? I mean,
yeah, well look where
sure,
they are
okay,
in the league. Newcastle.
They've got great recruitment.
Dan Burns doing great for Newcastle.
Anthony made chips out of
Ben
him.
White's doing great with Arsenal. Trossard's doing great with Arsenal. Cucurella, they're not doing great, Chelsea, and so Cucurella's not doing great.
Bissouma,
He's still been sold to a big club. Bissouma's been sold to a big club. 5 players there that would have been pretty much automatic starters for Brighton have gone in 2 years, and they're still a good team. Their conveyor belt of quality players is unbelievable, and they've got more, and Mitoma's one of them. Mitoma will go to a big club, and it'll probably
That's more to do with recruitment, isn't it?
Yeah, of course
if we
it is.
look at the mismanagement of Manchester United over the years and the players that we've gone in for players that were past it. We've paid big, massive fees for so-called top names. It's, you know, sometimes players like that, they're just under your nose. It doesn't have to be the big name, the one that's going to sell shirts and, you know, this, that. But that is what Manchester United has done after
when you talk
over
about
the
selling
years.
shirts, can you imagine?
Well, yeah.
Can you imagine what happened in Japan if we had him playing on the left wing for us every week?
Same with Jason
It's
Park, wasn't it?
It's just not going to happen because Rashford's going to be, and I thought Rashford was really, really good today. Even apart from his goal, I thought he had really good passage of play. We've got a super chat on from Noah Lally Bertie saying, to Ricky, McTominay had a good game but still not good enough. Please don't get carried away. Also, much better without Weghorst. Thoughts?
I mean, yeah, Weghorst, honestly.
Well, we definitely played better tonight than we've played for some time. But people always want to dig things out like that. You know, were we better without Weghorst? Okay, well, I'll respond with this. We were also better without Casemiro. We haven't played as well as that with Casemiro in the team for some time. We really haven't. Not like that, knocking the ball around, keeping teams under pressure. So it's just like a certain player doesn't play, another player plays. Rashford got moved in from the wing. Maybe I thought Sancho played great.
Yeah.
Part of the reason that we played well might have been because Rashford wasn't on the wing. Not because he was at centre forward, but because he wasn't on the wing. Sancho, I thought, really looked after the ball well and had a really good game.
Can I just come in on the Weghorst thing?
Can I just ask you one question first, quickly? I just wanted to ask you if you think De Gea should be like David Raya should be saving. Should he be saving that?
Yeah, David Raya could save that.
Into the top bins of the net. He
David
should be
could save
saving that at power.
Yeah, but David defies physics every week.
That shot, David Raya should be saving that.
David Gea defies physics every week.
It's into the roof of the net.
From about 7 yards,
in
innit?
It's about 5 yards out.
David De Gea has made saves better than the saves that you saw the actor make in Matrix.
Come on.
I don't think anybody has saved that.
Oh, I don't want to.
No, I'm just coming back in point. I've watched it back. No way he's saving that.
Well,
but anyway.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Anyways.
Well, I'm just saying.
If you just join us here on the United Stand, Manchester United have won 1-0 against Brentford.
And played really well for long periods.
We are buzzing about it. We've just had that little bit.
And Beth has given David De Gea man of the match.
Right.
Anyway, Weghorst. I just want to ask.
Oh wait,
go on.
I just was about to move back onto the Weghorst. I just wanted to see it. I just wanted to see it back, and I just wanted to ask your opinion. But Kev, we'll move on because I thought a very, very good reason as to why we're so fluid today and actually better on the ball is because, like we said, the attack was breaking down a lot against Newcastle, who, by the way, won 5-1 against West Ham. So,
is it 5-1?
Yeah, brilliant team. They honestly are very good. But we had a fluid attack of Rashford, Anthony, Sancho, and then Bruno was getting involved, but from deeper. I thought McTominay and Sabitzer actually did really well. It looked like there was a lot more chemistry up front. Do you think that is because Wout's dropped out of the team, or is it being at home, or what is that?
Yeah, it kind of pains me a little bit because it wasn't long ago since we were kind of here singing his, the big man's praises and saying that he was doing a job for the team, and we were saying it didn't matter about him being prolific and scoring goals. He was bringing something to the team, something different. But I do feel the last kind of couple of games, especially the Newcastle game. There was a stat today which is crazy in itself. I know it's horses for courses or whatever, but in the first 10 minutes, Jadon Sancho touched the ball more times than what Weghorst did in the full, game against Newcastle. Little things like that where you look and listen that. Take whatever context you want from that. It could be a couple of nice little touches, out on the wing or whatever compared to Weghorst. It was a difficult game. Not many players turned up at St James's Park. But, yeah, fluidity, that'd be the word. I'm glad I got that one out then. But, yeah, for the front three there this evening, it's totally different. Rashford playing up top gives you that extra pace. And if the one thing we have criticised Weghorst with is the fact that he doesn't have any pace at all. He can hold the ball up, he can play it out wide, but he's not able to keep up with the likes of Anthony, Sancho, Rashford, whoever it is. So he arrives late in the box, things break down for him. When you've got Rashford, Anthony, Sancho, it's totally different, the dynamics of the team. You can interchange, you can swap them round. And the main thing in Premier League football is pace. And United have got that when they play that front three.
Yeah, I need to, super chat here, member for 32 months, Sally says, I want to just say Sabitzer had a very good underrated performance today, kept the ball well, got an assist and used the ball intelligently. I agree. And on that point, I want to come to Ricky and say, still Weghorst over Rashford, really?
Oh, without a doubt, yeah.
Oh my goodness. No, this is not acceptable. This is actually not acceptable.
Wait, do you know what I've got in my pocket here?
Yeah.
I've got my ears. Do you know I might have to actually use this now to clean my ears out?
That's it. You just said.
So you think we would have played better today if Weghorst would have played instead of Rashford?
Not necessarily. No, it's not going to be the same every game. It's not an exact science football. It's not going to be the same every game over a period of time. I think as a number 9, I think Weghorst would be better. I like that type of player more. People talk about his bit of pace, Rashford. He did okay tonight, holding the ball up. He did well a few times. But in general, his hold-up play is not good enough. He's not good enough in the air.
God, he's so much better.
As a number 9, not for me.
But
Ricky, he's a better number 9 than Weghorst.
You love a tall, strong player. That's your profile of player.
I do.
You don't like Fred because he's short.
Yeah, he's too small, yeah.
There you go. That tells me.
Hiatus.
That just tells me. That just
even a
tells
thing?
me. Yeah, that just tells me all. Like Weghorst couldn't
Now I know why you
jump
always
to save his
disagree
life.
with me. Is this why you always disagree with me?
I got him for you there. When I said about Weghorst, I think a few shows ago, and I said Weghorst is the most basic, and you Man United fans, we Man United fans deserve better. People absolutely annihilated me online and said this, that, the other about me and whatnot. Well, today
It's just a normal week for you, isn't it?
Yeah, but I sit here vindicated. I sit here vindicated because today you saw one of the...
Nobody gets vindicated on one game, Faz.
No,
Nobody.
well, you do, because you saw the football we played. You enjoyed what you saw. You were giggling, sat in your seat.
I did enjoy it.
Yeah,
I did
you
enjoy
did.
it. We played a lot better.
Would you want to see this type of football again? The answer is yes.
Yeah, without
That's
a doubt.
yes.
Without a shadow of a
it's
doubt.
one goal. Okay, sure, we didn't score more. Average, we scored more with Weghorst on the pitch. But then I can turn around and say, well, Weghorst came off, it was 0-0, and Martial came on, it went to 2-0 to Newcastle. You know, it's one of those, how you want to see the stats. But the fact is, with the players, excluding Weghorst, with all the players, even bringing Palestri in there or whatever, we would have played better football. And that's what we want to see. We want to see better football because we all know the goals will come anyways. If we stay patient, stick to the plan, the goals will come. We've got one of the best players in the world, Marcus Rashford, on our side. No,
Don't
it's
get
true.
me started.
No, it doesn't matter. It's true. People agree.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
I
I
agree with
know.
you on this.
One of the best players in the world.
I'm glad.
It helps when you've got Sabitzer and McTominay both having great games today. What they say in the last fan forum about the middle of the park being a key area. You've got McTominay, who's played really well. Certainly can't slag him today. And somebody's just said in a super chat about Sabitzer as well, who I touched on earlier, and said the two of them, you know, they have actually bossed the midfield today. It makes such
Who would
a
have
big
thought as well after them
difference.
two awful games they both had? Fulham
Yeah.
and then Newcastle, they were dreadful in the midfield, and both of them great today.
And you know what, on top of that, you know the goal that Rashford scores, I guarantee you Wout Weghorst sends it to tier 2.
Well,
He wouldn't have even been there.
This is one from Rob MUFC. 30 goals, Ricky. 30. Would take Weghorst 5 years to get to that. I think that's actually been generous, if I'm being honest. Striker's got to score goals. Roger Seaman, I totally agree with Ricky. Rashford isn't as good as Sancho in possession. Also, he's defensively poor on the left wing. Sancho is good defensively.
Has he not matched Andy Cole's record as well, Marcus Rashford? I saw that today.
Pardon?
Has Marcus Rashford not matched Andy Cole's record as well, or something like that? I saw today.
I've not seen that
I've
one.
not seen that.
Sensi Gaia
Yeah.
1 says Dave saves. Yeah, he saved a shot. Well done.
A crucial
Moving on.
Yeah.
Let's move on
Dave,
from
Dave
that.
did save.
from a mistake that he made.
Oh, Faz, I'm not getting
I'm
into
just-
it. Let's talk about McTominay. McTominay, I thought, was actually very, very, very good today. Great game from Scott. It's what you want to see, especially after the stinkers he's been putting in recently. I mean, Ricky, one of your favourites, I would say, maybe one of your favourites. Definitely someone that you've been speaking about a lot on the show as of late. What did you make of his performance? I know what you're going to say, but what did you make of it?
He was top draw, wasn't he? He was different class today. I just think we played well all over the field today. But the back four, it starts from the back. The back four was great. The midfield was great, and the forwards were okay. I think you're going over the top about the forwards. But because the midfield and the defenders are playing well, they get more opportunity to play well. So the forwards, if it would have been a different forward, I won't name any names, probably would have played better today because the midfield are playing better and the forwards are playing better and we're forcing them back. We're keeping the ball in there. Just like I said, we weren't on Saturday. Today, we're dominating from the back. We're forcing them back. We're moving the ball around. So a different player at number 9 might have played well today because the team played better, the midfield played better. That's where it all starts from. You've got to dominate at the back, and then if you can dominate in midfield as well, you've got a great chance. And if you're a forward, you've then got a chance of playing well because the teammates behind you are playing well.
You're looking at this game before it, aren't you, and thinking, Ivan Toney, danger man. We've seen what he did to us earlier on in the season. So if anything, it is testament to the team because obviously Varane and Martinez put in their usual kind of shift. But again, the midfield and he cut a frustrated figure towards the end of that game. You're limiting him to absolutely no service at all. I can't work out, is that Brentford, the way that they played? We've got to give Manchester United credit. We need to give Ten Hag credit. This was a game plan and it was executed perfectly.
I don't know if anybody noticed this. It might not have been evident if anyone was watching on TV, but at the game, in the first half, I'm talking about Ivan Toney here, in the first half, they got a free kick, maybe 10 yards inside our half in like an inside right position, and they were clearly lining up at the back for them to angle a ball high towards the back post. And I saw Luke Shaw, not in the left back spot, but more or less in a right back spot, and about 5 yards in front of the rest of the defence, whereas the defence are all in line with each other. And that was the first thing. I thought, what's Luke Shaw doing? He's miles out of position. And then I realised he was marking Ivan Toney. He's clearly been told to mark Ivan Toney from set pieces. I was absolutely amazed. So he was, somebody else must have been covering at left back, I suppose. But Luke Shaw was definitely marking Ivan Toney from the balls into the box, which is unusual for a left back to take on a 6'2" centre forward when you've got
a Varane there.
But he was clearly marking. He was clearly marking him.
Ten Hag obviously really trusts Luke Shaw, and you can see that. Arsenal all the way says, question to Ricky, what happened with you and Casemiro? I swear just a few months ago you called him one of your favourites. What's changed your view?
Did I call him one of my favourites?
You did. I've got it on video, Ricky, in Spain.
You've got the evidence.
Look, I've not said that he's... People seem to be thinking that I've said he's a great player, not a great player. And this kid, I mean, Faz was here. I remember us arguing about him. Faz was saying, like, what you talking about? Where I said, if you say that somebody's not quite as fantastic and so not like Superman compared to everybody else, people then seem to think that you're saying he's not very good. I'm not saying that. Casemiro's a great player. All I'm saying is, I've said it time and time again, we've got a good squad and we can play well without him. In fact, what I said, you were amazed when I said it. When he got suspended, I said, well, out of the last, he got suspended for 4 games.
I've heard this about 5 times.
I know, but listen now. So he got suspended. The previous 8 games, he'd only played 4 of them, and we got more points out of the 4 games he didn't play than the 4 games he did play. Now, he's missed 3 out of the 4 games that he's now missing. And now Fulham was a cup tie. But if that was a league game, we've already took 6 points out of 3 games, which again is more than we took. And we've got a game to go. We might get 9 points out of it compared to 5 when he last played 4 games in a row. So don't worry about him missing. And I'm not saying we won't be better when he plays, but because obviously different things happen. It's not his fault that we only got 5 points out of the last 4 league games he played. That's not his fault. But don't worry about him being missing, and we haven't had anything to worry about. People might go, oh, we got battered by Newcastle. We got beat 7-0 by Liverpool when he was playing. Don't worry about the odd player being missing. If you've got a few missing, that's a different kettle of fish.
Tom Kent says it was nice to see some tracking back from the wingers, especially the last game. It was not happening. Hopefully Eric Ten Hag has had a word. Yeah, definitely. I mean, Faz, you're a big Anthony fan. Personally, for me, I thought he played well, but I mean, how many shots was he taking where he should have been passing it, in my opinion? There was one that was really, really close, but I think sometimes you got to think, Rashford, Martial are trying to get in good positions, and again, you're just wasting it by taking a shot. That was a little bit frustrating for me, but I thought overall he actually played well, tracked back really well. What did you think of him?
Fantastic. He had a solid game today. He helped out his fullback so much constantly. I think another thing as well is his perseverance of not giving in challenges and etc. And with the shooting, you'd say, okay, at times he could have passed the ball and he took a shot. But my thing is, for someone who's confident with his desired foot, and he's had success throughout the season in knockout games and big games, I would much rather him keep trying and he eventually get the shot on goal, because we don't actually test keepers a lot. We don't, and that's something.
We don't create enough chances, Faz.
We don't create enough chances, and a lot of our goals, is Rashford coming from outside the box, or Rashford doing something, or Anthony getting the odd goal from outside the box. I kind of like, especially David Raya, challenge him a bit, make him be on edge. So I'm not concerned. I think Anthony, though, for me, this particular game, he really, really stepped up. He kept his intensity until the moment he got subbed off, and he helped out Dalo quite a bit.
I have to say, the last 2 games I've been impressed by him. Today, I thought he was good, despite that I thought he took a few too many shots, which I still stand by, but I thought even against Newcastle, he was one of our better players. I think I said he was the best player. I think he was one of the best players. I think he's really kind of stepped it up a bit, and what makes me happy is he's getting in them opportunities to be able to take the shot. In the box, often the balls, it always falls to him, and he's in that area, but sometimes you just got to think, what has got more chance of me scoring, of the team scoring a goal here? me shooting from here or me passing it out, working it back in, there's some opportunities I'm like, yes, take that shot. And he has got a brilliant left foot. But that many times you do maybe as other forwards start to get frustrated. But again, I thought he played really well. I mean, Kev Sancho, some people in the chat are saying they thought he played really well. Some people are saying he weren't that good. What did you reckon?
I thought it was good. I think the one thing with Sancho is he knows when to kind of keep it simple in key areas of the pitch where I think we've had, or we still have, so-called wingers at this club that seem to give the ball away easy. Sancho is good under pressure, tight kind of areas, and especially high up the field where you don't want to give the ball away and you want to keep a sustained attack. That's where Sancho kind of comes into his own, and I think it was a big game for him this evening to see his name in the starting 11. I'm not going to lie, I was slightly surprised. I didn't see Ten Hag doing that, with it being Brentford, but I think it shows probably what Ten Hag actually thinks of Jadon Sancho. You know, this guy has gone away. He's whoever he's seen. Was it Holland he went back to? He's seen somebody that Ten Hag knows there. So whether it was a mental issue or whatever it was, we've kind of given this time, haven't we? You said the same, Faz, ages ago, didn't you? You were quite saying we need to kind of see more from him now. We need to see more from Jadon Sancho because of what he's being paid each week. United have paid a big fee for him. It's going to take him a little bit of time, but you don't get that much time in football. So at this stage now, we need to see Jadon Sancho, step up. We need to start seeing a bit more consistency more than anything. But I think that was a great start this evening.
Yeah, I said today when I saw him starting, I was happy about it. I was really happy about it. I think everyone knows I wanted either him to start or Martial to start, definitely, over the likes of Wout. And I was really happy about it. I thought it worked well. And what I liked about his performance today, he actually, I've said this, sometimes, I don't know if it's, some players' body languages are different than others, but sometimes he just doesn't look like, I want to go, come on, and he looked like he was proper up for it today. He was chasing back every single ball. He was doing the right things as he was going forward. Sometimes it didn't pay off, but I thought he actually looked like he was up for the fight today,
You say about tracking back there.
Yeah.
Anthony did it, Jadon Sancho was doing it, and even to an extent in the second half, there was an instance where Rashford ran back, went shoulder to shoulder. I forget the defender it was for Brentford. Won us a free kick out of absolutely nothing. But like you say, it's that tracking back, showing a bit of fight and spirit, which will be the one thing that Ten Hag said after the Newcastle game. He was surprised by United's lack of desire and that. So if anything, they've shown it this evening.
Must have been telling him. I mean, you've been a critic of Sancho, Faz. What did you think?
Yeah, very good today. Solid performance. I was worried why the gaffer gave him 90 minutes just before international break. International break finishing, didn't get him kind of building on his minutes again. But he's given him a good bank of minutes today, and that's very important. And also, look, the reason why Sancho needs to play more is because Weghorst needs to stay on the bench. That's the reason why. No, it is. Because Sancho plays, it allows us the option of having a fluid front three of Rashford, Anthony, Martial as well in there, maybe Palestri as well. Need to keep Wout Weghorst out of the starting 11. That's the most important thing, because we didn't bring in Wout Weghorst to play starting 11. We brought him in to play second half 30 minutes, here you go minutes, not starting 11 minutes. So that's why it's important for Sancho and Martial to be playing more minutes. And you saw he was at moments, he was being a bit flary, he was being confident, he was linking up well. Just keep maintaining his intensity and, again, keep building on it. That's the most important thing, because he doesn't have injury scare. He doesn't have anything like, the worries that we have around Martial and etc.
You honestly can't get the staff, can you? You just cannot get the staff. Cannot get the staff.
That's out of order.
But yeah, Sancho's amazing.
Do you know what makes me laugh? Honestly, I wish I could get what people say off camera on these shows.
Huh?
People say stuff off camera, and I wish I could put it on camera so people could see.
I know it's not me. I'm clean.
Oh my God.
Anyway, I'll read some super chats out. Kevin says, Ricky, we all know McTominay and Dan James are your grandsons. Oh, Dan James. Kieran Lee, need midfielders that can pass more than the goalkeeper can, strikers that can score, not McTominay and not Weghorst. A few other super chats trying to Make sure I don't scroll too far down. Joel says, imagine being so clueless you compare Casemiro and McTominay. And then Alex Marmon says, a good performance tonight. No one played poorly. Everyone just did their jobs. Just wish our finishing was better. We need to be more clinical. And then we have Triggered Salt. Sancho will find form. Grealish also took time. Alex Marmon, Lampard is back. Chelsea manager, no joke. Sally says, would you sign Sabitzer in the summer as a squad player? And then Nida Mensch says, does Ricky seriously believe he would have beat Barca or Newcastle in the final with McFred in midfield? I think so, yeah. I don't know.
McFred, I don't know about that.
Oh, okay. I think he means McTominay on that one. But anyway, we'll move on.
Is that serious about Lampard going to Chelsea?
Yeah, it's serious.
Wow.
Kev. It's serious.
Unbelievable.
That's
Talk about stupidity. Unbelievable.
Blown my mind, actually.
I think brilliant for us. Do you know what? I really hope Lampard does well and Todd Bowley's silly enough to keep him on as full-time manager, if I'm being honest. Because honestly...
Won't be the first time. We've experienced that, haven't we?
I mean, you know, sometimes an interim manager does well and people get carried away.
Might just do well, yeah.
And, you know, imagine if they kept him on full-time. It'd be hilarious, honestly. You've got Nagelsmann and Enrique there. And I mean, I know Lampard's only interim, but still, it's just, for me, it's just not. It's not the way that it should be going. But anyway, this is Manchester United. And Faz, I wanted to come to you on the next question, actually, and we'll work down with this. Dalo, you've been a critic of Dalo recently as well. Your guy, you know, you're outside Old Trafford, you're speaking to him, and then you come on these shows and you're slacking him off. It's not on, is it? But no.
I know what he's going to say. He's going to say he's used his little talk outside Old Trafford as motivation.
But today,
stepped it up.
Played very well. Are you happy with the improvement?
Very much so. That's what I asked him, and that's what's happened, doesn't it? I said sharp, and he's played very sharp today. I think he's at times when he found himself 1v1 with his winger as well, he did well. He, you know, obviously Saint Maxi got better of him. A few times other players have got the better of him as well the second half of the season, but he's done really well today, and it's one of those when you don't see the player enough, it's almost like because they're keeping things tidy, they're keeping things simple, and that's what Dalo did. But Dalo gets a lot of help from his winger. This is something I have said before, is the relationship that Anthony has with Dalo and Anthony has with Bissaka. It's so much props to Anthony because he makes his fullbacks' life so much easier. And I think just our backline, all in all, today did very, very well. His, you know, aerial as well. Dalo was strong, winning his aerial duels or making it physical and not giving in. So yeah, just happy overall and want him to keep building on. But that doesn't mean he's almost taking Bissaka's spot, because I still think Bissaka has shown that he's still the deserved player for that position at the moment. But if he continues to build on this, then yeah, everybody turned up today, and when everybody turns up, it's almost like, well, there's nothing really much you can say. But we were critical, rightly so, because there's a player in Dalo. We know how good he can be. At the start of the season, the guy played every single minute for club and country, and he was given assists to Bruno Fernandes in international duty. He was giving assists for us as well. That's the Dalo we want back. And now that we're linked with a right back as well, a very attacking right back, I'm wondering which right back is the one that needs to be sold, you know. And the interesting thing is, just a few weeks ago, we were saying Ten Hag doesn't want to buy a new right back anymore. He wants to use the funds elsewhere, only for us to be linked with another right back just a week ago. So it's interesting, right? So
been linked to Frimpong for a while now.
Yeah, but I think it's almost like when the players kind of see that, oh, you know, the gaffer is looking for another player, they start performing again and etc. So yeah, just keep building on it and finish the season strong. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, Kev, Shaw came off, I think, with an injury. He did end up going down the tunnel, which is a little bit worrying. And I thought when Malacia came on, first couple minutes he seemed a little bit shaky, but then he was brilliant after that. I mean, are you happy with his performance? I thought
he really grew into that game today. I'm sure we'll get into man of the match later on, but I don't know anybody else's views, but I'd say he was actually up there. There's 3 or 4 players, I think, that could have been man of the match today. I would put Malacia down as a potential winner for that award. One thing I will say, that just touch on Faz's point about combinations on the pitch, it's interesting you should say the one about Anthony and Dalo. There was an instance today in the first half where Dalo overlapped Anthony, finds himself obviously ahead of him. The play breaks down, and you almost see Dalo caught, and he shouts at Anthony. You see it on the telly. Anthony actually shouts at Dalo to stay up. He says, "You stay up, I'll basically cover you." You'll be watching the match back tomorrow, won't you?
Yeah,
You'll see this, and it's almost like Dalo's stuck, and he's almost saying, "Are you sure?" And Anthony actually tells him again. He says, "No, stay up there, press the ball, I'll cover you here." And I thought, it's a while since you've seen them little things developing between players, but that is definitely, just because you said that, if you watch it back, you will see this instance in the first half, and I thought that is what you want to see.
It's a really good point, actually,
Backing him
Kev.
up.
Really, really good point. And you like to see that through the team. You like to see that kind of cohesiveness with the team, definitely. Noah Layaberti has a super chat in saying, Ricky, would you rather start McTominay, Weghorst and Martial or Casemiro, Bruno and Rashford? Hint, there's a right answer.
What was the three?
The three was McTominay, Weghorst and Martial or Casemiro, Bruno and Rashford.
Weghorst and Martial. Casemiro.
Bruno and Rashford.
Do you need the earbud, Ricky?
Definitely the first three. Definitely.
Why do you do this?
Without a shot.
No.
That's an even easier answer than the other one because Martial's in it.
No Martial.
This
You
is so...
can't not have Martial.
Yeah, but Martial only going to play 15 minutes.
Oh, well, yeah, we're not talking about that way. We're talking about quality of play. Look,
Weghorst
if Martial can't play, then obviously it's
No,
got to be the
actually,
other three.
hold on. So you'd rather play Martial,
Weghorst and McTominay.
McTominay. So where would you play Martial?
Number 9.
And where would you play Weghorst?
10. He's played there loads of times. Played there away at Barcelona.
Oh, I'm going to actually get onto that in a second.
Has he played there loads of times?
He has played,
You've reminded me
yeah,
of a point that I wanted to bring up. But Snickers has said, curious to hear what McTominay did for praise tonight. It's top draw performance for a holding mid. I'm scared for what the standards we've set, if that's right. And I want to come on to this point, actually, because obviously Weghorst didn't play tonight. And Ricky actually messaged me a bit earlier, didn't you? And you said, if Weghorst doesn't, if Martial comes back fit and he's playing up front, you'll be surprised. You won't be surprised if he moves Weghorst into 10 instead of
occasionally. I did say occasionally
instead of 10. Do you think that's an option he might go down?
I'll be amazed if he doesn't do that once or twice because he's played in there a few times. He likes him there. I'll be surprised if he doesn't do that once or twice. The difficulty he's got now is Anthony's playing well enough on the right that it would probably have to mean benching Bruno because Bruno, when he's played Weghorst at 10 before, Bruno's played on the right wing. So it is getting squeezed. It's getting squeezed now for possible places. It was a bit easy for him when he could put Bruno on the right, but maybe he wouldn't feel as though he wants to drop Anthony now. So look, it's a difficult one, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said to you, I wouldn't be surprised one bit to occasionally see Wout at 10 and Martial at 9.
Yeah,
that's so slow. That just slows down our attack so much.
I don't think that'll happen. I've told
slows
you that.
down our attack so much. Imagine in transition.
I can't see him starting a game like that, but like maybe in-game management at a certain point of the game.
How many games has Wout started at 10? He's probably started about 5 games at number 10. With Bruno on the right. Bleeds away. Didn't he start?
You have to take it into account.
I can remember 2, yeah. But I can't remember 5. I know at times he's gone into the 10 after he started.
That's what I'm saying, in-game, where they switch it, but Bruno on the right. But like
Weghorst shouldn't be in the starting 11 anywhere near. It's not, it's just as simple as that.
Before we kind of move on to, the future and our man of the matches, I want to talk about a guy that I thought was brilliant tonight. Brilliant, and he's again. Everyone knows he's my favourite player at Man United. He is Bruno Fernandes. I thought in that deep lying role. Obviously, McTominay was playing ahead of him. Bruno was playing. McTominay and him were kind of the deep lying ones, and then Sabitzer was playing more as he was basically in a 4 across the middle when we had possession. I thought Bruno controlled the midfield really, really, really well today. And does anyone have a different opinion to that?
Ricky?
I thought he played well, but I don't think he was the pick of the midfield players. I think he was probably just about the poorest of the 3 midfield players.
No.
Impossible.
No.
Why?
No, impossible.
No.
Because the only best thing McTominay did today was make a block. And the other times when he needed to find himself to receive the ball, he was nowhere to be found. He wasn't. This is true. McTominay was nowhere to be found when he needed to receive the ball. Look at how Bruno Fernandes sprayed the ball in the second half.
McTominay carried the ball well, but Bruno's passing was great.
Relieving the pressure of us.
I saw Bruno put 2 balls out, one out of play in the first half for a goal kick. I saw him put one straight to the goalie. Started the second half, I saw him try.
But he's got the ball
I saw him
so
try
much,
and bang
Ricky.
one down the right wing. It went straight into touch.
It was the
McTominay's
right
passing's
idea.
a lot more simple. It keeps
Bruno
the ball.
opened up the game. I saw
Fernandes
Bruno
is more of a
spread
risk
passes
taker.
from right to
McTominay's
left. He
jobs.
was completely
And
dictating
pinpoint
the
as
play.
well.
Pinpoint passes on the turn, one with the outside of his foot, which, by the way, they should have got on the end of. His passing was excellent.
And he made some really good, tackles as well
A
to break
couple
up the
didn't
play.
go right.
He
A
played
couple
perfectly
didn't go
well, but I
right.
thought all the midfield played well. I thought
I was just going to
McTominay
say
played
it's
well.
testament to how well
I
they
thought
all
Sabitzer
played. If
played
you
well.
think that Bruno was...
We dominated the game. It's
not saying he had a bad game.
I do believe that not the whole game, but we dominated certainly the first half, maybe a bit more in the second half. But in the first half, if there was one player who gave it away a little bit too often, it was Bruno and not the other two.
Bruno had an 87% passing accuracy.
Excellent.
And Scott McTominay? Can someone put
Can
that?
someone put... I mean, I don't want to compare because I actually do think they all played well. Like, I think McTominay played really well today, despite what some of the comments are saying. I don't know if Mark said something different on his show, but I thought McTominay played really well. I thought Sabitzer played really well. I thought Bruno played really well. Bruno, for me, was the best out of the three.
The roles are totally different.
Yeah.
You have to dominate Brentford. You can't play crap and dominate them.
I don't think anyone played poor, and that's the sign of a good team performance. In fact, nobody did.
You know what's another very absurd thing is Brentford are known for their press, but with David De Gea in between the stick, they didn't really press much.
They did at times, but I think
Not as much as we
but
thought
I
they
think
would.
they were staying in shape a lot of the time. I do think that Brentford went into the game, and I think their kind of tactic was let's just stay in it. That's what I kind of got from it.
Because
I think if we go this, I think they thought if we stay in, your thing, if we stay in it, we can nick it. So I didn't think they wanted to open the passing lanes for them to.
But did you see how David De Gea passed the ball on the floor today? Few times.
The thing is, though, you don't even have to press De Gea for him to do a bad pass. So that's maybe.
But Brentford are known for their press. They're known for how well they press, and they didn't. Which is very absurd.
Tony did it sometimes, and the one time he did do it, it nearly bounced into the back of the net.
Let me stay
That's why I'm
quiet.
saying that earlier. Is it testament to the way that Manchester United went about that this evening? That Brentford weren't able to do that, and United were able to bypass it and play the majority of the first half in Brentford's half.
You got to think as well, but Brentford are playing away from home. It's a little bit different when you play away from home. But I was actually shocked at it. I think Brentford are a really top team, and I was shocked at how poor they were, if I'm being honest. I thought because we had so much.
I was surprised.
Credit to our players.
Yeah, credit to our players. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I thought we made them not look as like the Brentford I usually
It's a similar
watch.
thing to what we said after being beaten by Newcastle. We're on here. We're not happy. We're arguing whatever. But like you said, you can't take too much away from Newcastle. Newcastle were absolutely sensational at the weekend. We can sit here and say, we didn't turn up, we didn't do this, we didn't do that, but they made us look average that day.
Someone put 4% passing accuracy from McTominay. Obviously, it's not true.
Can't be right.
Come on.
Imagine if that's true.
I don't know what it says. Oh,
I think we know it's not
first,
true.
someone I think's got it here. First half, McTominay 83%, Bruno 89%. Second half, McTominay 60%, Bruno 81% in passing accuracy. And then someone put 74% for Scott. So yeah, 74%. So Bruno, obviously, his passing accuracy was better. Ricky, you're gonna have to hold that one. But I mean, we've got Everton on Saturday. Oh God!
Whoa.
I can't cope. We've got Everton on Saturday, Kev. 12:30 kick-off. I mean, remember when Ollie was moaning after a Wednesday night game about 12:30 kick-off? Do you expect changes to be made? I mean, very, very quick succession.
No, I'm just trying to think very, very quickly. Well, depending on Luke Shaw, obviously, if it's an injury that is now going to keep him out, but I wouldn't be too worried. Malacia thought he did really well this evening.
So good, isn't he, Malacia?
He's just
so good. I
effortless,
adore
the way
him.
he comes
So,
on,
I
man,
just
he's
want to hug him.
efficient.
Honestly, I just want to hug him.
He's a
He is.
huggable
I really
kind of
like
guy.
I just want to
I really
hug him,
like
man. I
it.
just adore him so much.
No, I think
15 million.
He'll be starting left back, I think, eventually. But obviously, Shaw, I think, is unbelievable, one of our best players. But Shaw's just signed his contract. I think he will be. But Malacia's so young that I think eventually he will take over Batten.
Do you not think if Luke Shaw signed a 4-year contract that Malacia might leave before he
I know what
becomes-
you're trying to do because you told me that before. Not happening.
No, but look, players want to play football, don't they?
He's going to get
Players wanna
football.
play football.
He's going to get football, especially when they're
will
doing the
get
Champions League next year.
But it's like that move he's done where he's played Luke Shaw at centre back. I believe it is because he does trust Luke Shaw. I think he's the one player he can turn to and play there, but also to give Malacia game time, and it worked out brilliantly.
I think Malacia is a top player, and he's doing absolutely brilliantly for us. Coming in and playing, like you say, if Shaw plays at left centre back, or if occasionally he plays in the cup ties and things like that, he's doing a great job. But I just think that it's a long time if you're going to remain an understudy throughout that period. So all I'm saying is, you might be right, but I think there's an equal chance that you might be wrong in that he might want to go and play more regularly and might not become the regular Manchester United left back, because in 2 years' time, if Luke Shaw's still keeping him out of the team, he might want to go and start playing more regularly somewhere. Yeah.
But Ten Hag is known
see.
to do that because he did that with Gravenberg in Ajax. He did that with Kudus in Ajax. He did that with Martinez in Ajax. When he bought Martinez didn't see that many minutes as well. He's known for that. He's known to and Pep is known for that as well. Benching 100 million players for long periods of time.
I mean, when Foden won't play for weeks sometimes, then he'll come back into the team.
And that's what it is. If you believe the system, you believe the manager, you stick with the manager.
Look, we don't know the answer. All I'm saying is, you think he's going to eventually become United's first choice left back, and it might not happen.
I think Luke Shaw
That's all I'm saying.
Look, Luke Shaw gets sold in 2 years because his contract will take him up to 31 years old.
I don't think so. I think Shaw will stay.
Till 31 years old?
Yeah, I think he will.
God help us.
I think he will.
What are we doing?
But that doesn't mean Shaw has to. If at that age, he might
Why
not have
should
to.
we keep him
he
till
might not have
31?
to. He might not have to. Casemiro's
That's what I'm saying.
30. Casemiro's 30.
Yeah, but we should.
And
We don't
Casemiro's
have
brilliant.
to. I mean, I think Luke Shaw's contract extension is good that we extended him because he's really one of the best left backs, like top 5 left backs in the world. But in 2 years' time, he can be moved on, and that's okay. We can make some money off him and move him on.
I think you're writing him off in 2 years.
No, I'm not.
Well, but 29, won't we?
But you need to rebuild the squad every few years.
Yeah, but why can't he stay and
You
rotate
need
with
key players,
Malacia?
don't you?
And he's such a good,
Experienced
experienced player in
You
the
have
dressing room. Like you
players
said.
like Nuno Mendes. You have Alphonso Davies. You have Cancelo. You see the level at which some of these left backs are playing, and you want to keep Luke Shaw at 31 years old.
He might be
As
playing
long as
centre
he's still
back.
got his
Maybe
pace and
until
stuff.
he's 31 years
He might
Don't
be
get me
playing
wrong, if
centre-back,
he's
you
lost
don't
a yard
know.
of pace or something, you might look at it differently.
Kyle
but
Walker's
if
lost
he's
a lot
still
of pace,
playing-
and look what
Ashley
happened
Young's
to him.
still fantastic. He's 35, isn't he?
Ashley Young's still fantastic, not at Manchester level, Manchester United level.
Shaw will
I
still
think
be
he
Man
is.
United level at 30, I tell you that.
Ashley Young's still
He will
good
be.
enough to play for United.
At 35,
Oh,
easily
come
good.
on.
this is what I mean.
Why
It's too
shouldn't he
much.
be?
Like we become
Why shouldn't he be? He's playing regular for Aston Villa in the Premier League.
It's
He's about
no,
6
we
points
become
behind
retirement.
us.
We have a fetish with 30-year-olds. We do. We love 30-year-olds. That's what it is. We want young players to be coming in to take over.
What's wrong with
some
Ashley
of these
Young?
At 35 years old, you want
Ashley
him to
Young
come
will
and
play for Manchester United now.
You're not even use this
I know,
again, Kaz. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is there's a top fullback there who's playing every week for Aston Villa in the Premier League who are about 6 points behind us. Why can't, or it's 9, might be 9 now, why can't a team in the Premier League have 1 or 2 players that might be good enough to play for us?
How did
Why
we get to
can't
this
they?
conversation?
Ashley Young is not good enough to play for Manchester United just because he plays week in, week out. Just like one of the things I said is...
Did you watch it? Did you watch him play Chelsea the other day?
Okay,
He's
yes.
different class, mate.
He is, but
He's different class. I don't care how old he is.
So if
Faz, I
if
need to
different
inform you of
class-
something. I need to inform you of something. Ashley Young is one of Ricky's favourites.
Oh,
he's like a
okay.
he's like a Martial type,
Right,
Chris
I
Smalling
didn't know that.
type. He's in that
I didn't know
Matic
that.
type. He's in that
Matic,
bracket.
Mata, Dan James.
okay.
So
We sold him
that.
about 4 years.
Thank you.
Did we
Now I
give
know
him
what I'm
away about
fighting with.
4 years ago? He's been off and won Serie A.
Ashley Young,
then he's
yeah.
come back to the Premier League and he's playing every week for Aston Villa at 34.
Bring him back
there's
then.
no way he'd be playing for
Bring
United
him
at
back.
this level.
Bring him back. Bring
I think
Ashley Young back.
was a great player for United back in the day.
When
I
we
think he's a
play
good
Aston
player for
Villa,
Aston
they might beat us,
He's a
Beth.
good player
Have you
for
watched
Aston
him
Villa.
play Kev recently?
He's a good player for Aston Villa, but it don't mean he should be playing at United.
Ashley Young is a good player. No,
I didn't say he should be playing. You're
you
still not listening.
You
I'm just saying he's good enough. I'm not saying that I'd swap him. I'm just saying he's good enough. There's lots of players around that are good enough to be in your squad and get the odd game, or even when you play well, maybe even keep your place for a while.
This is where I think I need to use the earbud.
I'm a massive fan of Diego Dalo, massive fan. I don't think he's better than Ashley Young. There's nothing to choose. There's nothing to choose. Because we're United fans, we think our players are the best things since sliced bread.
You say that with Scott McTominay in your squad.
What?
You say that.
Yeah, well, there you go. I'd have John McGinn, who plays for Aston Villa, above Scott McTominay every day of the week. Every day of the week.
I don't disagree with that. I like John McGinn.
Yeah,
John McGinn's a great player. Other clubs have got good players.
McGinn's got a good long distance shot as well.
Let's move on.
You love a little long distance shot, don't you? Right, anyway, so yeah, Kev, I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you actually on that. Everton, Sean Dyche, tough team under Sean Dyche to beat. You know what you're getting with Sean Dyche. They're going to put men behind the ball. They're going to come and they're going to make it difficult for us. What do you expect from that game?
Well, to be honest, I expected a difficult game this evening, and it didn't really turn out to be that. But this will be different in the sense that Everton are fighting for their lives, and we've seen the bottom of the table, how tight it is, how 1 week it can just change. You could be bottom of the Premier League, a couple of wins, you're up to kind of 12 kicking around up near mid-table. It is absolutely insane. So from that sense, we're going to have difficult games from now until the end of the season. Everton always is, regardless, home, away, Everton is always a difficult game.
Do you expect Weghorst to start on the bench on that game?
Yes.
Yeah, and
that's why I said earlier, I think it totally depends on Luke Shaw, the extent of that injury, but again, doesn't worry me too much because Malacia can come in. And it depends another few days of training of Martial, to start looking at that. And if he wants to mix it up at the front, play him as a number 9. But again, I think Sancho and Anthony are both taught on performance. They've taught themselves into the team for Saturday. So it might be better if Martial, again, gets some kind of cameo, minutes that way and build him up. Obviously, Ten Hag is doing that. We have sat here, haven't we, and we said it's almost like he's drinking in the last chance saloon now, Martial, at Manchester United. He's not. This hasn't been going on for a season. It has been a prolonged, long period of time, and we want to see him get a run of games. But Ten Hag will definitely. He's experienced. He'll hold him back and try and give him minutes that way. You have to build him up. The last thing we want him doing now is breaking down again. Another silly injury that rules him out for the rest of the season.
He chased a long ball to the corner flag, didn't he? Remember that long
ball
over the top, and he chased it and did brilliantly, by the way. Strength, touch, holds somebody off, turns back, passes it, makes himself available again. I was like that. He's going to pull his hamstring. But
steady on Tony,
anyway,
lad.
Relieved that he's got through the game.
Yeah,
another positive.
I mean, I think within like the first couple of minutes he was on, there was like a 50-50, and he did pull out of it a little bit. And someone next to me in the ground was like, "God, why is he pulling out of that?" And I said to him, "Probably don't want to get injured, to be honest with you." Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he is made of glass a little bit, but I still expect him to start on the bench. I think Ten Hag's really going to slowly ease him into that team. I mean, Faz, Sean Dyche.
4-4-2 long ball.
Yeah, are you worried at all?
4-5-1.
Last game without
4-5-1
Casemiro, thank God. I mean, you worried?
Yeah, I think they have some really strong, big players in midfield that we need to be worried about because Casemiro still won't be there. So we've got Scott McTominay to the rescue, at least. And also Fred. I'm surprised that Fred didn't start today, and the gaffer brought him in second half, and he did well, Fred. So if we just
should have buried that shot.
Yeah, should have as well. Yeah, and he skied it. But if we stick to how we set up in the midfield and the players do play like the way they did, I think we'll be in for a good night. And we, as much as Everton had somewhat gave us a difficult game or etc. in the away leg, and Martial had the little injury during warm and etc. We're in Old Trafford, and Old Trafford is the fortress that it is this season, and that plays a big part, right? A big part. I think the new manager honeymoon period for Everton is done now. So I think Ten Hag will be able to take a lot from this game and go and put Everton aside. I think he'll be all right. I know Everton's a big game and tough game, but I think we'll be all right. Because we said that about Brentford, right? We were nervous. I said we'd be lucky to get a draw, remember? Because it was still 1-0. But Yeah, I think Everton should be okay.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope what you're saying does happen. I mean, Leo J says, talking about new left and right backs, Alvaro Fernandez and Ethan Laird, thoughts, guys? I mean, the two players that are doing well on loan, but I don't know if they're good enough to come in
Not Ethan Laird,
and play first team football right now. But, you know, hopefully the loans go well. And lastly, getting towards the end of the show, it is time for Man of the Match. So, I mean, Faz, I'll come to you first.
We'll start with you, ladies first today.
Ladies first, I'm going to give my man of the match to Bruno Fernandes.
But you gave David De Gea before the show.
Bruno Fernandes and to be honest, McTominay was up there today. I thought Dalo was good, Anthony. Rashford obviously has a shout, but no, I'm going to go with Bruno Fernandes, I am.
Okay.
Go on.
Go first.
Oh, okay. Sabitzer.
Sabitzer.
Yeah,
good shout.
He deserves it. He worked really hard today and obviously got the assist as well. You have to be in it to win it. And one of the things that I picked up really well is he was so confident of receiving the ball from deeper in and turning and carrying the ball. You know, one of the reasons why I obsess over buying and bringing Frankie de Jong into Manchester United, that little bit helps us so much. Just when opposition teams are trying to be in our half when we have the ball in our back line or when David has the ball, Sabitzer today showed, you know, his quality. And there's been a little bit after the Newcastle game, people were like, oh yeah, he's not good enough and this, that, the other, but that's just one game and you shouldn't write off a player as
Partnerships as well, isn't it? You know, him and McTominay haven't played that many games together, but you get a little run of games, bit of an understanding and that. And
he's just very intense, isn't he? He just keeps his intensity, his physicality, and he's got a decent pass as well, and he's got long range shooting as well. During warm up, I was seeing him taking some shots at Bishop, and he was getting him on target. So I like him. I think he just, you know, glides by games and people just don't kind of want to pick it up because of the other big names or you know, other players scoring. But Sabitzer is an unsung hero today, and I give him my man of the match.
Yeah, he won quite a few headers as well that he didn't have any right to win.
Yeah.
He was very good. There were so many shouts. I mean, there's so many different shouts in the chat. I mean, Kev?
I had two players in mind. One of them was Sabitzer, so just to be a bit different, I was then going down the kind of road of McTominay, who I thought one of the best games of the season that he's had in a United shirt. But I'll go back to my man earlier, Malacia. And I'm purely going to go down this route because Sabitzer and McTominay started that match today. You know, Malacia didn't know he was going to get on the pitch. I think it shows a bit of character as well to actually come on, be thrust into the team because of an injury to Luke Shaw. You know, little time to warm up, you straight into the game, and then to put a performance in like that for somebody who isn't, you know, necessarily a starter at Manchester United, hasn't had a run of games, to come in and put in a performance like that, I think it's classy. And like you said earlier, you know, even the chairman of Feyenoord must be sat there now going, 15 million.
Yeah.
You know, we have been robbed, man. Call the cops.
It was really clever how we did it, isn't it? Because we let him agree a deal with, was it Leon?
Yeah.
For 14
Fabrizio
mil.
said, here we go.
And it was here we go. Like, he never says here we go unless it's gone. And then we squeaked in at the last minute. So they're not going to be like, oh, sorry, no, you're going to have to pay 30 because they'd already agreed that deal. So it was actually a good little bit of business.
For a change.
But yeah, Malacia, again, really impressed with him. Ricky, and I think I know what yours is before you even say it.
Well, I do like the way Sabitzer played tonight. I thought he played really well. Jadon Sancho was tempted to go with, well, I'll have to go with Scott McTominay.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad shout. I thought he was really good. I mean, a lot of people in the chat say Martinez as well. I thought Martinez was good. I thought Varane was good, but you know, we had a lot of possession in the game, so kind of wanted to go
Fantastic
with.
tackles.
The classy thing about Martinez is you
tackles.
come to expect that from him every week.
Yeah.
You know, we have given man of the match loads of times,
He
but
was brilliant.
he's that consistent now. You know, it's brilliant, fantastic player.
What I loved about him was like it was in our third. And it was going out for a throw, and he came in and just absolutely went through Brentford player and won the ball and for a throw in and just kind of walked off back into defence. He loves a good tackle, doesn't he?
Nonsense.
Great player. But yeah, that about rounds it up. Yeah, we've just gone over the hour. A very eventful for him today for a 1-0 win. But you know, I'm glad we have got 3 points on the board because I was getting a little bit nervous about top 4. Still not obviously, you know, confirmed or anything like that. It's going to be a tough battle, but more confident after that kind of performance. Definitely a good bounce back. But thank you everyone for coming on the show today. And you'll all be back for Everton, won't you?
Hope so.
Yes.
I'll be back for Everton.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Faz might not be. I'll be having words with you after the show. But I'm joking, you will be. But no, thank you everyone for getting your comments in down below as well. I mean, lots of different opinions tonight. And you know, it is all about that. It's about different opinions. And it's all banter. We don't, you know, we're not actually annoyed at each other, and you know, it is what it is, and
You
it
promise?
is a really. No, I'm going to absolutely.
She won't be saying that when the
She's
camera goes
she's
off.
fuming with you.
Just wait until. I mean, is
The
it off
camera
now?
goes off.
No. No, it is all banter, and it's banter in the chat as well. Everyone has different opinions. So, yeah, thank you everyone for getting all your opinions in. A great win, and Rashford, what a goal and what a player, eh, Ricky? But yeah, really, really good game. But thank you everyone. Make sure you hit a like on the video. It really does help us out. And subscribe to the channel, and we will see you for the forum on Saturday as well.